Good morning. I'm here with another video for you. I really wasn't sure what I wanted to address with in reference to the autism and what my day-to-day struggle is. Because there's quite a few. I don't know if I wanted to go to the beginning of the issues that I had with Tony or address what our current situations are, which aren't many, because sometimes you build up a lot of the issues or you create the problems instead of taking a hold. Because with the initial diagnosis, that threw me for a loop. And I tried to over-educate myself on situations, and it's such a wide and vast subject that you really don't know where to start. And my mistake was kind of asking teachers and people around me that I thought were educated on the situation and were not. You kind of need to go through the motions and make a decision for yourself where you want to be. You can ask for advice, but take it or leave it. Do not just accept professional criticism only because Tony suffers from epilepsy, and the last time I went to the doctor's office, that was the previous video to this, he displayed some behaviors that were not his typical behaviors. But I had to understand he was out of his routine. Not only was he out of his routine, he didn't have the shoes on that he usually wears, and he usually in the morning gets dressed with the uniform to go to school. So all of these things can throw a child on the autism spectrum for a loop. The doctor that we were going to see was his neurologist. And when she seen him behaving that way, she suggested to me that she wanted to put some type of machinery in his chest to control his seizures, because the behaviors he was displaying was or could be a seizure. And I wasn't flying with that, because they are not going to cut my child open to insert some type of device that they claim will control his seizures, and use him as a guinea pig to register information or to obtain, some type of research data on my son. So, with that being said, you kind of have to advocate and be the best advocate for your child, and hope that you're making the best decision for your child. Second opinions are good. Going to see other doctors are good. I don't know. There are a lot of things that I think about. There are a lot of things that I think about when dealing with my child, and if the schools are actually appropriate for him, or the individual that is overseeing his education is the appropriate person. Because we have people who are good at their jobs and people who are bad at their jobs. There are people who would have a bad day and take it out on whomever, and there are people who are generally kind and want the best for people and the individuals they work with. So, I just wanted to maybe address, I had some stuff written down, but, okay. I had maybe 3 or 4 video ideas, and maybe I will address them later on and go in depth with these ideas. But one was high, moderate, low functioning autism, and what does that mean? Because I have an issue with that. You know, people are telling me how blessed I am for having a high function child. High functioning meaning what? He doesn't know how to tie his shoes. He sometimes doesn't know whether to sit or stand to go to the bathroom. You know, so I can't send him to the bathroom alone, and he's getting bigger, so taking him into the women's bathroom soon will be an issue. Oh, counting your blessings. I use that reference all the time. Counting your blessings where they are. Because I hate when people say it could have been worse. A situation can always be worse than what it is. You know? So I hate when people tell you that it brings no soothing or it's not comforting at all. That statement is not comforting. So when I say count your blessings, for example, I was in what was supposed to be a support group, and I'm sorry, I'm getting a message here. Okay. What was I talking about again before I got rudely interrupted? I look a mess, and I usually do, because I am secondary to my son. I work at night, so I figure, you know, at work, most of the clients that we take care of are asleep, so trying to be pretty doesn't really, not important, or it takes secondary position to the needs of my child. And that's not always a good thing, because I need to be here for my child, so I need to take better care of myself. I am a diabetic and need to take better care of that. I don't know if anybody can tell that my eyes are not really focused, because my eyes, I can't see really well, or as well as I used to. Okay, back to my son. Well, you know what? I'm gonna try to do another video on whether my son is high function or low function or whatever, because there are a lot of questions I have for his doctor and his developmental physician, because I don't know where he lies on that higher or lower spectrum of things. To me, he's in between. To most people that see him, he's high function because he can talk. Okay. The issue with count your blessings, I don't know how far I went into detail with that. Someone was telling me that they envy me because my son seems like he is progressing in the right direction, and he's higher function. He can, academically, he's not suffering or whatever it is. Tony can't do homework by himself. You usually got to stand over him, give him instructions, redirect him into the instructions. That's not high functioning to me. But anyway, I count my blessings because, yes, my child can tell me he loves me. I count my blessings because there are people who struggle with that fact that they can't hear their child's voice. But Tony has extreme behaviors, extreme meltdowns. He yells at the top of his lungs. People often make comments. I don't live in the suburbs. I live in the hood where people are not afraid to express their feelings or concerns. I had people tell me, oh, he act like that because he ain't got no father. I said, who told you that? I said, he acts like that because he's autistic. Oh, he don't look autistic. What does that look like? I had a man at the laundromat told me to ease up. Why are you on his heels like that? I said, because this same little boy you see left my house. A locked door. Opened the door and attempted to go to the local park on his own. Someone found him. I didn't know he was gone because I locked the door and didn't know he could reach the door lock. He was missing for an hour. So the things that I try to do to protect my child, when people see you and they make comments and they don't know the situation, it's unneeded. Oh, I would beat him if he was acting like that. This boy can cry for up to an hour straight. Beating him will only cause the crying to intensify. Believe me, I was at a loss. I didn't have no answers. I've tried it all. The spankings, not spanking, the over love, hugging, ignoring, rewarding good behavior. None of it really seems to work. If he's feeling out of his element, he's going to show you that he's out of his element. Sometimes I try to leave the situation, take him out of the environment he's in to redirect the behavior. And that's what seems to work the most, is to take him out of that direct environment. But when you're shopping and you're in the line and you're ready to pay, and he starts screaming out, you know how much time it would take for me to leave the line. The woman had rung up half of my groceries, and to tell her, oh, hold on, stop, I'll be back, put the food aside, and waste of time. It's a really stressful situation. And if you let it beat you, it will. Sometimes I need a timeout, and I have no one to give me that timeout. So for a married couple who tends to work on things together, it may be a little bit easier than a single parent. Although it's still tough, because all in all, you're dealing with raising a child to be a productive citizen in this world. It's not easy at all. So, with that being said, I count my blessings where they are. You should too, because I had to tell a woman who had a child that had a child who was in a wheelchair. I said to her, there are some people who can't have any children. If you said to them, oh, well, my child in the wheelchair, they're going to say, well, I can't have any child. I wouldn't say to that person the line that I hate the most. What's the line that I hate the most? It always can be worse. But there is some counting of blessings that needs to be made. I'd rather tell someone, count your blessings, instead of saying it always can be worse. I guess this is going to be the end of the video, and thank you for listening.